Okay, welcome in, one and all. I'm now going to be switching things up from the NFL to the NHL. So I'm now going to be starting my 32 and 32 with the uh, National Hockey League, just around the corner, about a month away or so for the regular season. The preseason should be starting here fairly soon. I do apologize. Uh, Before I get into my discussion with the Anaheim Ducks, I just want to take a little moment here to basically what I'm going to be doing for this is I'm going to be displaying the characters for the teams that I'm picking. And obviously, you have Trevor Zegras. He's the one that really stands out, and he's the X factor, and he was on the cover of last year's NHL. So what I'm going to be doing is displaying their home jersey and their reverse retro. And I got to say that their home jersey is okay, and the letter D is not too bad. But in all honesty, I would not mind seeing them go back to their. If you look at the reverse retro, I would not mind seeing them go back to their old Mighty Ducks logo. I mean, it's whenever you think of the Anaheim Ducks or the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, as they used to be called, that was their logo. And I know they wanted to switch things up back in the 06-07 season, which helped them win the cup, shockingly. Um, but yeah, I just believe that I believe in the near future they should go back to that as their main logo. I mean, you think about the Arizona Coyotes; they went back to their original logo. Why not do it to the Anaheim Ducks? Like, I'm not trying to disrespect their new logo and the letter D and make it look like um, oh my goodness, a foot, but I know it's not the correct word. Um, but like I said, I just wouldn't mind seeing them go back to their old logo. Um, that's just my opinion. So last year, the Anaheim Ducks, they finished the season 23 wins, 47 losses, and 12 overtime losses / shootout losses for 58 points. The last time they made the playoffs was in the 2017-2018 campaign when they lost to the San Jose Sharks in a sweep. So, with that being said, I'm now just going to go through their roster and see what players that they have kept and what players have signed elsewhere. And then also be going through all the uh, off-season signings as well. So I'm just going to quickly switch things over to the rosters and the edit player, and I'll take a look and see who they got and who they still have yet to sign. So take a look here on this. So between the unrestricted free agents and the restricted free agents, like I said, I'm just going to go through this little list. So starting with Nathan Beaulieu, he is still yet to re-sign or sign with anyone else. What is this? Simon Benoit. He has signed with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Oops, hold on 1 second. Let me just see if I can adjust that. There we go. That's a little bit better. So Simon Benoit has signed with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Sam Carrick has. Where is he? I don't get him. Oh goodness. Okay, so there hasn't been any news for Sam Carrick, but oh, sorry, no, he's still signed for 1 more year. That's why. Maxime Comtois, he is still yet to re-sign. There's quite a few players here on their UFAs and RFAs that they have yet to re-sign. I believe I don't see his name here, but I believe Drysdale is still up, but I'm not seeing him on the list of unrestricted or restricted free agents. Hmm. That's kind of an odd one. I mean, he's a young defenseman. I figured that he would have been signed by now, but he's not even showing on the list. Cam Fowler is still there for 3 more years. Derek Grant has still yet to re-sign. Scott Harrington has still yet to re-sign. Adam Henrique still has another year left on his contract. Max Jones as well has another year left on his contract. Ryan Kessler, I have explained that situation. So if you're curious about him, I believe if you go into the season reviews, which was posted at the end of the season, you'll find out why he's still on the roster. What do we have here? Jackson McComb still has another year. So does Brett Leeson. So does Isaac Lundestrom. Brock McGinn still has 2 more years. Mason McTavish still has 2 more years left on his entry level. Jason Megna has signed with the Boston Bruins, so he's no longer there. John Moore has still yet to re-sign with anyone, let alone the Ducks. Nikita Nesterenko still has another year left on his contract. Kevin Shattenkirk, and I knew this was going to happen, has signed elsewhere, and I believe I did post this last time as well. He signed with the Boston Bruins. Jacob Silverberg still has 1 more year left to go on his contract. Ryan Strome still has 4 more years left to go on his deal. Troy Terry did re-sign with the Anaheim Ducks, and I'll take a look and see where did I show that for 7 more seasons. So he ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Urho Vakanainen still has 1 more year left to go on his contract. Frank Materno still has 2 more years left to go on his contract. Colton White, the defenseman, still has 1 more year left to go on his contract. And then this one here kind of really intrigues me the most. Trevor Zegras, which I mentioned at the very start of the video, was obviously on the logo for last year, and he pretty much is the face of the franchise. Not trying to disrespect Troy Terry in any way, but it's just mind-blowing that we're already in September and he is still yet to re-sign with the Ducks. I'm not quite sure what the reasoning is behind that, but evidently, yeah, he has yet to re-sign. So I'll take a look at their goaltending situation, and if I'm not mistaken, Lucas Dostal, I'm pretty sure he has re-signed. If I'm not mistaken, for 2 more seasons. Now, yeah. John Gibson still has 3 more years left to go on his contract. And take a look here. Anthony Stolarz, basically another backup, has signed with the Florida Panthers. So I'll just quickly go back. I just want to go back to to the very beginning when I showed the different jerseys for the teams, and then I'll have just a little bit more input when it comes to the Anaheim Ducks. So just bear with me. Oops, went too far. Okay, so we're back to here. So I'm going to adjust this. There we go. Let's take a look and see. Make sure I'm not missing anybody on the list. No, I believe I got everyone. Okay, so the Ducks are heading into their second season without a captain. Since Ryan Getzlaf retired after the 2021-2022 season, unless they name a captain prior to the start of the season, my guess is that they might wait another year before making their decision. The Pacific Division is going to be competitive yet again this year with the likes of the Golden Knights, defending Stanley Cup champions, Oilers, Kings, and Kraken in it. All 4 teams made the playoffs last year. 2 made it to the second round of the playoffs, and one obviously won the cup that I just mentioned. The Ducks are still in a rebuilding mode. They still have a lot of questions going into this season. Will John Gibson suit up? That was the big thing for this whole offseason was he has made it very clear that he wanted to leave to go to play for a competitive team. Will he be traded? Will he play yet another season in Anaheim? If he's traded, what will be your return for him? Also, if he's traded, what does that mean for Trevor Zegras? Now, I know this is probably absolutely a wild question, but maybe I'm sure money plays a major factor in a player's decision, but also if you're still rebuilding and you get rid of like your franchise goalie to say the least, you get rid of him, you know you're not going to get another John Gibson coming back. So I can't. This is probably an absolute wild question. It's probably way out there in left field, but maybe that's playing a factor into why Zegras and what's going on with him. But again, that's probably completely unrelated. But like I said, when you have a franchise player and you have a franchise goalie, and the goalie says, "I want out," maybe that's playing a bit of a head game into why Zegras has yet to sign. But again, it's probably just coming down to money and terms. But I just thought I'd throw that out there. Take a look and see what else I have jotted down. I believe the Ducks will most likely miss the playoffs for the 6th straight season. As long as you have the 4 teams, which I had previously mentioned in your division, it's going to be competitive. And I believe it's going to be yet another long year for the Anaheim Ducks. And not just the Pacific Division, but you also have to think of the Central as well. There's a few teams in there that I would say are pretty much shoo-ins to get into the playoffs. And there's only 2 wild card spots. So, like I said, if you have the likes of the Golden Knights, the Oilers, and Kings, I believe those 3 are like a lock to get into the playoffs. The Kraken, if they have yet another good season this upcoming year, I believe they could be in a wild card position. So that only leaves 1 extra wild card spot open. And I just truly believe it's going to be very tough for the Anaheim Ducks to be competitive and get into the postseason. I'm sure at some point they will be able to take that step forward and getting into the playoffs. But as of right now, with the teams that are in the division, I just think it's going to be extremely hard for them to make the playoffs in 2024. Thank you all for tuning in as always, and until next time, take care.